Oh, hello. Do you think the Big Brother's watching? Or that the Illuminati is planning to take over the world? Have you happened to have an encounter with a space alien today? Well, if the answer to those questions is yes, then grab your hat. This is tinfoil hat time. No idea what's going on in my system right now. It wasn't working right, and I forgot my hat. So I'm going to have you guys have a look at the kitty again for a few minutes while I go grab my hat. Here, kitty. You can break the rules, so let it sit on my desk. Whew, it's just not a conspiracy without my hat, you know? I gotta have my hat. Yeah, so I want to talk about smart meters today. The kitty took off. I don't know where the kitty went. Yeah, the kitty took off. All right. Well, greetings, everybody. Let's go ahead and start in with looking at a few comments, and then I'm like so far behind where I need to be right now. Oh, well, we'll proceed. We'll get there. So, greetings, everybody. Hello, Isaiah. Hello, I'm Ms. Fun. Striker Wolf, greetings. Mark, how's it going? How about about to fall asleep again? Bought a new router today. All right. Prices are volatile on tech. It's crazy. Huh. Why don't you build one? Used to buy routers a long time ago. Building is so much more fun. Didn't even... Oh, yeah. Yeah, Mark. I built my router. My router's built. Let's see. Got a great deal on a TP-Link Archer C-Series. KO2610. Hello. Hello, everyone. And the kitty's back. Hello, pizza-loving nerds. Sale. Hello. Doubt I'm alone and missed the memo. Good morning. I'm not even going to attempt to do that one. I'll call you Enigma. Had some issues with Debian, so hello, Solus again. No way I'm going back to Ubuntu. Nah, not yet. Not yet. I was 50-50 on the line what exactly I wanted to talk about today. Ubuntu was this close to actually being on the list again today, but we decided to not to. Let's see. And see you there, except I set up the camera during the lighting. Took me like 45 minutes. All right. Hello, Norris. How are you? Life outside the windows. Evening. Cobalt Technology. Hello. Yeah, Kitty took off, but Kitty's back. Kitty's back. He doesn't like to sit here if I'm not here. Let's see. Hope Solus is treating you well. I go MX17 for new users right now. There you go. Let's see. Nice hat. Thank you much. This is my tinfoil fedora. Hello, Pseudo Reboot. Been a while. I am well. Spider Eyes. Hello. I may run it, actually. Okay. Cats, dogs. How's it going? I hope you don't have to switch all my Ubuntu Mate computers. I mean, you're okay for now. The problem with the Ubuntu data collection is currently it is a problem with the installer, which I can't even look at yet because as of the daily build today, it's not in the system. However, 1804 does have, it's called PopCon, not Popcorn. A lot of us apparently mix that. Thank you for, was it Kylie Holmes? Somebody told me about it. I think it was that person. Yes, it is called PopCon, which is a short for Popularity Contest. It was originally a Debian package, but that is installed by default on the new Ubuntu. It is not enabled, but it is installed, and that's creepy enough. I was thinking about going into more detail about that, but if I do that, I'm going to wait until the actual release so I can report on what's actually in the system as well. So I would not change around your Ubuntu computers if they're running fine as it is. It's just be very cautious next time you install an Ubuntu computer. And I'll tell you, I have problems. I've had more problems, my fair share of problems with Ubuntu Mate, because of course I run that on my backup system. Well, I've been living under a delusion for like 6 months that the CD-ROM in my computer sucks because I couldn't do some CD and DVD stuff in there. And it occurred to me, maybe it's not the CD. Maybe it's the distro. So I booted into Linux Mint. Perfect. So I may even change my Ubuntu Mate back to something else for my backup computer eventually. I don't know. Smart meters. Can you just say no? Kathy Brinkman, in the state of Pennsylvania, the answer is no. You cannot say no. We're going to get into that today. Yes, we are going to be talking about smart meters today. And I'm going to tell you why I'm going to be talking about them. It's not because I'm a crazy tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist. It's because I have serious, legitimate concerns with smart meters, and the legislators in Pennsylvania don't give a darn tootin' because they're in the back pocket of the people running the companies, and we're going to get into that a little bit more. Let's just go ahead, and I'm going to leave a marker in my comments there so I know where to come back to. And let's go ahead and introduce the topic. So we're going to be talking about smart meters today. Of course, this has been a controversial thing. And in 2008, in the state of Pennsylvania, they passed Act 128. And Act 128, among other things, I'm sorry, it's 129. My apologies, it's 129. And I forgot to pull up the actual code on my computer here. All right, so what Act 129 in the state of Pennsylvania did is it requires a lot of different things. This is part of the Energy Conservation Bill, so to keep that in mind. So we have a statewide evaluator to evaluate energy efficiency and conservation programs. There is the Electronic Distribution Act to perform quarterly and annual reports filed by EDCs per commission directives. They required for conservative service providers. And I got to tell you, I lived in Pennsylvania most of my life, but there were a few periods of time I lived in other states. Pennsylvania is the most screwed up state I've ever been in my life. Eventually, I will leave it again because I mean, they deregulated the energy. So now what it turns into is this constant vying for every 3 or 4 months. You got to change your energy provider because somebody's going to get you in on some low discount deal and then jack up the rates 4, 5, 10 times the price you're paying for it. And it's just caused insanity in the state. On top of that, the Pennsylvania IRS is infinitely more insane than the federal IRS. I literally think we joke about the Gestapo in the federal IRS. I literally think Pennsylvania IRS is the Gestapo. I mean, it's crazy. But the one we are going to look at now is smart meter technology procurement and installation. Requires for the energy companies, any energy service providers with more than 100,000 customers must install smart readers. They don't have a choice. Now, almost every other state that has smart readers, there is an opt-out. I'm okay with all this if there were an opt-out. Now, I rent, so I don't even have the ability to have an opt-out. It's up to the landlord. But I still want the ability to have an opt-out functionality. Or maybe it should be due to the tenant, maybe long-term tenants. There's too many questions in the rental scene, so let's not address those right now. However, what we are going to look at is, let's go ahead and click on that link and read through more about the Act 129. So 129 of 2008 amended Section 2807 of the Public Utility Code by adding a requirement for electrical distribution companies with greater than 100,000 customers to submit for PUC approval a smart reader technology procurement and installation plan, 66PA CS 2807. All 7 EDCs that were required to install meters have approved the meter plans. And these have to be installed by 2023. And if you're not doing math too well, that means we still have 5 years. They don't seem to care. All right. And so there's the smart meter deployment schedule. Let's see. I think this is the Penelec Company Energy has largely completed their smart meter installations. If you have questions, contact them directly. There's smart meter constellation things over here. A lot of stuff. Now, there's a lot of crazy, dirty politics in the middle of all of this. And that's kind of what we want to talk about. But the reason I am wanting to chat about this stuff is because I've been getting fun stuff in my mailboxes lately. Oh, so this one here is just wonderful. And then listen to the PR. Remember that statement I've always made that you can tell if a PR agent is lying if their lips are moving. Listen to this wonderful letter. We are exchanging an electric meter at your place of residence. Dear customer, it's just so beautiful. Big green letter. At least it's not Comic Sans. In the first few weeks, in the next few weeks, we will be installing smart meters on homes and businesses in your area. This effort is in response to Pennsylvania Act 129, which requires all large electric utilities in Pennsylvania to install smart meters. This step towards a more modernized electronic system will enable automated meter readings and may enhance our ability to respond to outages faster and more efficiently. It's kind of funny because one of the directors at the CIA said our current smart grid for electricity is a stupid grid. Plus, okay, this is creepy. Listen to the sentence. This is creepy. Plus, in the future, you will have access to more detailed energy information through our online home energy analyzer tool that will help you better understand your electricity use, which means you can then make informed choices about how to manage and control your electricity consumption. We will notify you once this functionality becomes available. I have a couple comments about that. First, am I a moron that I can't determine my power consumption? Am I a moron? Do I really need an energy analyzer tool that will better help me understand my electricity use? I think I have that down. Plug something into a wall, power is used. This is a miracle. I can even calculate wattages. If you find your appliances, you might find a wattage. Your power bill uses kilowatts per hour. So you take the wattage, you multiply by 1,000 to get your kilowatts. Multiply that by the amount of time it's on, and that tells you the approximate energy cost. And then you can, per day, per month, however you want to do this. This is not rocket science. Okay? Now, you might have something that uses volts instead, in which case you need to take the voltage times the current, multiply that, because guess what? Watts is equal to voltage times current. This is basic stuff. This is basic stuff. But the fact that in the future, and we're going to get into this because I know there's some folks here watching from California. California has some fascinating things that anything in the state of California now needs to have some smart technology embedded, and they will be able to directly interface those individual appliances directly with your smart meter. They don't even need to do that. I'm going to explain to you why. We're going to kind of dig into some forensic CSI type stuff, and we'll talk about why that is. Now we have bold. Bold, bold. Listen to this, nice and bold down my letter. See that bold sentence there? All right. Exchanging your current meter with a smart meter takes very little time and even less effort from you. Oh, good. It's so convenient. In fact, if your meter is readily accessible, you may not even need to be there when it occurs. On the day of installation, an installer from First Energy, our vendor, a Wellington Energy, will come to your door and let you know they're installing your meter. He's so glad that I live in an apartment complex. I might borrow a few pit bulls that day otherwise. Have them running free through the yard. Nope, not getting my dogs. Have fun. He's so lucky. If no one answers, we will leave a door hanger and either indicating your meter has been changed or asking you to contact us to schedule an appointment. Yeah, as if I would do that. Unless your meter is located inside your premise, the installer will not need to enter your premise. Please be aware of all of our installers will be carrying a photo identification badge from First Energy. In addition, First Energy installers will have First Energy uniforms and trucks. Wellington Energy installers will wear a brown uniform with a Wellington logo, and their white trucks will have a Wellington Energy First Energy logos. If an installer cannot show you an identification badge, or if you have a concern about the person's identity, please call Wellington Energy. No, if some moron can't demonstrate his identity, I think I'm going to call the police, actually. Just a thought. I don't think calling their 1888 number is going to be a facilitated process to identify who the schmuck is at my door. There will be a brief interruption in your electronic service when the meter is being installed, so you need to reset some of your electronic equipment. Good to know. Be assured that the smart meter technology being implemented has been rigorously tested. Yeah, I bet it's been rigorously tested. By manufacturers to be accurate, safe, and secure. Yeah, okay, that's PR speak. Are they really going to sit here and say, yeah, the meter we have here is some cheap knockoff Chinese product that hasn't been tested at all, is probably going to burn your joint down, you know? I mean, of course, it's been tested to be accurate, safe, and secure in systems throughout the country. Yeah, we're going to get into all of the fires caused by these in a bit. If you have any questions about your installation, please call Wellington Energy at 1-888-317-8815. If you'd like more information about how our smart meter program, please visit our website at firstenergycorp.com/PA smart meter. Thank you. You're not welcome. But I got that. Of course, this was like the more formal letter. They were teasing us first with, a brighter future. Oh, wow. An introduction to smart meters. What if that's the same picture I have on my background there? It might be. It's a public domain picture. Nah, it's a little different. An introduction to smart meters. Ooh, let's read about the introduction to smart meters, shall we? And then we'll jump into some comments. Then we'll kind of dig into this a little bit. Let's see, all four of these morons are starting to install smart meters on our customers' homes and businesses throughout our service areas. This effort is in response to the corrupt Pennsylvania Act 129, which requires all large electric utilities in Pennsylvania to install smart meters. This step towards a more modernized electric system will enable automated meter readings and may enhance our ability to respond to outages faster and more efficiently. Plus, in the future, you will have access to more detailed energy information through our online home energy analyzer tool that will help you better understand your electricity use, which means you can make more informed decisions about how to manage and control your electricity consumption. May I repeat? What am I, a moron? Take a look at some of these frequently asked questions for more information about our smart meter program. What is a smart meter? Smart meter is a device a moron will allow some power company to put on your house. But what they say is a smart meter is a digital electric meter that collects electricity usage information, sends that data to a local utility through a secure telecommunications network. Ooh, we even have a meter. Look at this meter. Oh, we have the smart meter. It goes to the utility pole through a WAN to the power company. Oh, that's so exciting. You're going to send all that information. Nice bold letters, green at the bottom. Oh, you can't see it because I have the green screen on there, but it's the perfect thing for my green screen. It's green down there. That's kind of cool. In fact, look at the brighter future. Be assured that the smart meter technology being implemented has been rigorously tested and proven by manufacturers to be accurate, safe, secure in systems throughout the country, except the houses that burnt down. Question: what if I don't want a smart meter? I don't think you can see the letters. Those are just green enough. Okay, those are just green enough to show up. All right. What if I don't want a smart meter? The company is required by Pennsylvania law to install a smart meter for all of our Pennsylvania customers. That's our pinch pin problem. That's our problem right now. When will smart meter be installed on my home/business? In the next few weeks, you'll receive a letter that will give you a time period. Yeah, that was my letter. It just said the next few weeks. Okay, whatever. I'm concerned about privacy. Are you? Well, so am I. I'm also concerned about privacy. Let's address their question about privacy because I'm a little concerned about that, as you know. I'm concerned about privacy. Are you able to track when my family is home or when my business is occupied? There was a PR guy talking. No. Our meter does not provide us with information regarding the occupancy of your home or business. It just reports the electric usage on a minute-by-minute basis, which is possibly a secondary indication of when you're actually home. Oh my God.
Meh, 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 I'm stupid. Meh, I believe the Public Utility Commission. Meh.
Or the activities of those in your home. In addition, the meter is able to track your hourly usage, but cannot measure the usage of individual appliances or other electronic devices within your home or business. And I'm going to prove to you that that is balderdash, and I'll get to that in a little bit. Will you limit the amount of electricity I'm allowed to use? No, the utility will not limit the power you can use. Will this smart meter affect my health? No, it won't. Of course it won't. No, this is perfectly safe and rigorously tested with funding from our own companies. No, the numerous studies have shown the smart meters using radio. We just kicked out the ones that didn't prove it because those were funded by those crazy independent people out there. Well, smart meters emit a low level of RF exposure from the smart meters is a fraction of the level it comes from other commonly used devices, including cell phones, garage door openers, televisions. Guys, televisions do not emit that type of data. Just an FYI. Microwaves actually don't because of the mesh gridding inside of them. Wireless internet, baby monitors, garage door openers, and cell phones, yes. But the numbers are quite a bit different. Okay, for more information, please visit our website and blah, 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 we're liars, blah, blah. So that is the marketing material that I've gotten to help ease my concerns about the smart meters. Let's go ahead and jump on over to the comments, and then we will come back and address some of these some more. Oh, boy. Oh boy, where am I? All right. On Manjaro, dual booting. Think about buying a Raspberry Pi to use VPN on to distribute other computers on my network. Well, the VPN will allow you to connect to your network when you are not home. That's why I run a VPN. Feel proud of myself after wiping the Windows partition today. All right, good. Manjaro's working. Awesome. A family member was pushing to getting a smart meter here in the UK. It wouldn't work, so they had to change it back. All good and well, but the stress made her ill, and she's not in the best of health. Yeah? Sweet. Your pie came today. Is it Raspberry Pi? All right. I did. He ran away. Thanks for becoming part of Linux community. Also, what type of writing have you used to your username? What language is that? It does look like, I mean, I certainly see some Greek characters in there, but there's some other ones that are not. Ubuntu is syncing. Join the Arch community. There you go. Okay. Now I have to hope he doesn't come back at one of the very few times I'm away from the house, and he has to hope he doesn't come back when I'm outside with my GS. The guy who was going to put the meter in. Yep. Get out of here. Washington is too liberal. There needs to be a third party. Yes. Smart meters. Yeah, more sly meters. Yep. Just got last year's model of router to avoid the word smart on the packaging. That's what I do. If you ever leave Pennsylvania, will you go to California? Absolutely not. California is like liberal fruitcake land. There's a few states I will not live in. California, Massachusetts, and there's a few other odds and ends as well. You know, maybe I need to readdress that list later. I don't know. What's worse, cities making using solar panels? Oh, yeah, cities are making using a solar panels illegal. Well, that's stupid. So much for good renewable energy. Nah, we're just going to rely on the coal. In fact, somebody in Pennsylvania wanted to reject their meter. And so they literally just pulled their house off the grid. They spent $120,000 on their own off-grid power system. Some of the people in power are incredibly stupid. Yep, it's much cheaper. It's like, duh, we don't do smart anything. Yep. May use this router until I pass away and be mocked. Yeah, I mean, I just used my old router and set up my old router as a wireless access point, so I didn't have to buy a new wireless access point. Like, why bother buying a new access point? I have a wire, an old router, so ISP Wi-Fi charge. Yep. Oh, you'll probably still get charged for it 50 or 60 times. I don't know. $10 to $15 for 12 months saves my mother a good amount of cash. Yep. Smarter they make it, the easier it is to hack. Yes, that is the problem. What if some guy hacks your smart meter and toggles it on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off until everything in your house blows up or catches on fire? Possible with the smart meters. Yep. U.S., they will lease equipment to you for an additional monthly fee. Well, it's optional for now. I hope it stays that way. Technically, the way Act 129 in Pennsylvania is written, the smart meter is optional. It's just a requirement of doing business with the power company. That's the way it is. Oh, boy. You need electricity or you don't. You're not exactly going to turn down your oven or eat half-cooked food. Well, another thing is that in many places, Pennsylvania is one of them, it is illegal for a landlord to deny you electricity, even if you can't pay for it. You have to figure out a way to pay for it, but it's illegal for them to turn off your electricity during the winter months if you have electric heat. Unknown says Bitcoin is awesome. All right. Give you instructions too. Amazes me. People still pay to install printers and routers. Yeah, I know. I am never cease to be baffled by the idiocy of many people. California, we do not use smart meters. Yes, you do. You have the smart meter laws in place. California is an opt-out state. Once they decide that they want to install it, you do have the option to opt out. It probably costs extra money because it does in many places. The head guy did not knock on the door to inform me. My dog bugged me when he came. Yeah. Just let the dog out. Be careful providing a good, considerate service. You might be accused of having a conscience. I know, that's horrible. You're on a Mac now. Oh, pizza. Oh, I'm sorry. You suggest me some distro, an old laptop with second i3 and 8 gigs of RAM. Linux Mint might work good on that. Peppermint, MX Linux. Those are ones I'd try. What do I think of Latin and Greek? Not too bad. Didn't know whether you were referring to software or hardware. Think Enigma, what do you think of Chinese ideographs? Or ideographs? Okay. The installer waved the literature at me, and I waved it back. Yeah, still saying no. Don't care. Take your PR produced marketing baloney and go shove it somewhere, because I'm actually reading science. How's that for a funny thing? I know. Our crazy scientific world, we tend to deny science a whole lot. Of course, what do we expect? We don't want to believe science when it tells us never mind. We don't want to get into that discussion. Oh, I'm close to fire. I'm close to fire. All right. Hello, Analog. How are you? And your wife, how are you? What have I missed? You missed the introduction. We're going to get into more of the literature in a little bit. People do not think beyond the surface. Yep, that's exactly, Mark. We are trained not to think, and that is one of the biggest challenges. Okay, one of the language, let's see. What is a smart meter? We are going to get into that. What is RF? RF stands for radio frequency. The biggest problem with smart meters is they have a radio frequency pulse that is actually very powerful pulse that typically pulses once every 15 seconds, 24/7. Hello, smart meter. Hello, Jim. Yeah, multiply that by the number of smart meters. How about the number of smart meters attached? Fortunately, the Russians on the other side of the wall are going to get the bulk of it. I'm going to get whatever absorbs through the rest of the wall. But there's 8 meters attached to the... No, wait, 1, 2... Yeah, I think it's 8. I think it's 8 meters attached to the wall over here. And all that's going to come shooting right on through. Keegan, greetings. Let's Solus Budgie so far. You know, I've only tested it in a VirtualBox. I wanted to install Solus Budgie for a test. I could not get it to work right. So I'm going to try it again and give it another month or so. Move to Berwick Nuclear Power Plant. Yeah, there you go. Smart meters are used for electricity. Where I come from, you can top them up with your phone and online instead of using a token you take to the shops. Huh. Instead of getting WPS Office for my parents on Linux, it looks... yeah, the biggest problem, though, with WPS is it is buried in a EULA, and it's kind of a closed source code, and, you know, it might be okay, but it depends on what your philosophy is. If you just want something like Office, the other thing is you can set up LibreOffice to look like Office, Microsoft Office as well. It is an option. What else is wrong with California besides liberals? It's just crazy. It's crazy that the budget is out of control. The taxes are out of control. Like, it's the only state I know of when you're driving through the states, like, you pass through there, and I don't know if they still have these or not. Like, you have the agricultural inspection coming in. No, sir, I don't have any lettuce, but I have this grenade. What? We used to joke about that. I used to go into California once a year when I lived out west. With LibreOffice, my parents is that they only know how to use Microsoft Office. It's hard for them to learn LibreOffice. No, you can set up in the tools and extensions. You can set up the ribbon setup to look like Microsoft Office as well. Smart meter makes your electricity bill go higher, and you get time of use. Well, that's one of the things we're going to dive into, Eric. Yes and no. Possibly, there are definitely places where they foul up a whole lot more. So, you know, we'll get into that as well. BPNL only uses smart meters. Oh, boy. Livestream last night said their bill went to $800 after a smart meter was put in. And yep, that's the case. That is some of the stuff that you'll see, and we'll talk about how that happens and things, I hope. WPS might be your only choice. Let's see. America isn't democracy, it's idiocracy. Yes, we are full of idiots. I opened a Microsoft Office presentation with LibreOffice and half it didn't work. Huh, okay. Yeah, give the other one a try. There's another one, which is... Oh, there's another one out there as well. Soft Office, I think it is. Somebody help me out with that. What's that one? There's another one that's supposed to be just as good as well that's not closed source. Yeah, 8 meter. Yes, I will need to keep my tinfoil hat on. I might even line this wall with tinfoil over here, so... Oh. You're in Canada and you can only run your air conditioner in the early night or else you will pay 13 cents. Yes, Eric, we will talk about that. It's supposed to autoplay when we go to a certain slide. Board off your phone now. Alright, you should view Atom Editor. It's open source coding editor. I think I've looked at it before and I didn't care for it. Alright, we'll go ahead and stop right there for now. And let's go ahead and have a look at some fascinating things. Jumping on to Eric's comment there just a moment ago. Yay, with the smart new electricity, we can now bring new pricing plans. Because, you know, I mean, people are at work. all day, all day, 9 to 5, that's now going to be the cheapest power rates of all. Once 5 o'clock hits and the televisions go on, spike in our power grid, spike in our costs. Because we're corporatocracists. We control everything. Why not? Why not? And so I think the green indicates where the power grids are done. Approximate installation dates. So the Meadville area, Erie area should be done. Of course, we're in the State College area over here, so it looks like their maps, we're not doing it yet. But basically what happens now is that with all of these companies having, and literally this stuff gives you minute by minute power consumption in your house. And this is one of the biggest dangers, is that this is a huge privacy thing, and we'll dive into that a little bit later. But you can monitor right now if a meter reader comes and reads your meter. They can see how much you have used since the last reading, and oftentimes it's every other month the meter reader comes. Now, let's not also forget about the fact that now, guess what? This is more computers taking over real jobs from real people. And so as the meter reader would come, he can see about how much electricity you're using per month. But the biggest problem right now is that with the new smart meter technology, they can see minute by minute how much power consumption you are actually using. And let me tell you what somebody who is so inclined to do could actually determine everything you have in your house. Have you heard of the concept of a mass spec? You see this in CSI, you see the GCMS. A GCMS is a gas chromatogram that feeds itself into a mass spectrometer. So the way a mass spectrometer works, let's see if they give us an actual grid. You know what, we're going to go to mass spec and we're going to go to pictures. So I'm going to show you what a mass spec actually does. So what it will do is it will give you a grid readout that looks something like this. And what the mass spec grid readout does is this actually tells you what the component is. So if you happen to have all you geeky people are going to love this part. Suppose that you have, for example, something like a propane molecule. All right. And a propane molecule is going to have some structure like this. Which you can't see because my green screen does not like yellow. So if I have something white to build my propane on. Didn't think of that. Okay, so here is our propane molecule here. So what we have is C with 3 hydrogens, single bonded to a carbon with 2 hydrogens, single bonded to a carbon with 3 hydrogens. What a mass spec is going to do is it's going to cleave certain bonds. So suppose you cleave this bond right here with this little guy. Your mass spec is going to give you a mass of this group and then a mass of this group. And you're going to get ratios of the various groups back and forth, and you'll get some readout that looks like this, and relative intensities. What your relative intensity is going to allow you to do is identify the various components of this structure based on the number and the frequency of your peaks. The reason this works is because every element inside of this has its own mass. If you take that same applied technology and push it across to your electronic appliances, because guess what appliances have? Specific amounts of energy used. By the things you turn on and turn off, and every 15-second pulse back to the company to record everything you're doing, they can put together a relative frequency chart that shows you the number of different types of appliances. And with enough data, I could develop a computer algorithm and identify every product in a person's house without any technology that would actually allow us to have the individual item directly report back. Because, and this works because the appliances you have quantitative amounts of energy consumption. Using that technology, you can back calculate everything somebody has in the house. And the only way you could foul it up is if you identically turned on and off multiple different appliances simultaneously. This in and of itself is a huge privacy concern because this is all data that they are already collecting. Not to mention that in California, we mentioned that ruling that all of the various devices that have power will have to have some type of smart connectivity to report its individual uses back to the smart meter. That makes it easy to deploy that type of information. All right. But what will happen is as we start to as the power companies start to see what you'd call peak usages, you can then start to bill more for peak usages. And this is what Eric just said in the comments there in the live feed. What Eric just said happened in Canada is that now that they could see when all of these appliances were coming on, they could identify your peak power performance. So this is not about saving you money. This isn't about educating you. This is about determining the peak power performances so they know when to charge for more money. And so now I might, as a self-employed person, I would have to determine when do I want to work or not work based on the cost it's going to be to run my office. This is a major problem because then I can determine when is it I can do this or not this based upon the price of power. And that starts getting into sheer idiocy. So this entire concept of measuring all of this data is going to allow these corporatocracists to produce a platform by which they can determine new pricing plans and start experimenting with some of that. This is kind of crazy. This is crazy. Of course, there is some science about this type of stuff. So with regarding to the science on this kind of stuff, this is an organization that is, it's called StopSmartMeters.org, and they are a site that is merely gathering and collecting data. It's an activist organization to help educate people about the problems of smart meters. And so I kind of want to figure out if I can build one of these smart meter things with a Raspberry Pi. If anybody knows or has information on that, let me know. That'd be interesting to find out. All right, let's go ahead and have a look at some more comments real quick. All right, find programmatically fun. Let's see. You did not let the class watch it though because it's rated R. I'm gonna have to look that movie up. All right. Just had an argument with my Apple fanboy dad about whether iTunes sucks. Yes, it does suck. I will answer that definitively. Absolute objectively. iTunes sucks. Yeah, it's not second by second. It's 15 second by 15 second. Try putting Linux on MacBook Pro. Nope. Well, I have not. You're talking to Pizza, so all right. I'll let Pizza answer that. Anybody who is intelligent has to have watched Idiocracy. I'm going to have to look into that. I'll have to see if I can find it. Screw up the Mac because Grub installed on the main hard drive. Whoops. Guy installed a few a guy online a few years ago said that since I was in Tennessee, I was a dumb hillbilly with no electricity. I asked him how he thought I was able to reply back to online access without electricity. Never heard back. Well, you know, grab foot, insert into mouth. Keep saying we can't see. Can't see it, dude. Wait, what stuff? What stuff did I goof up on? I don't know. Watch CNI. See a pseudo. Pushing a smart house is in their benefit. Yep. How dare you use common sense and valid science on us? I know. I'm telling you what. I just left the college. The other thing that's on my topic to cover for tinfoil hat time soon is red pilling, you know. Eventually. All right, bad comment. Just a comment. Have you done this on paper with a slide rule with a vacuum voltameter? No. Smart devices are Big Brother's new eyes. Yes, they are. Can I make a tinfoil hat tutorial? I'll think about it. Google Fortress 2000 handicap product circa 1986. Kitty? Hey, get those back paws off my desk. You're not allowed to have your back paws on my desk. If you want to make your own, there's an open source project called Open Energy Monitor. Ooh, Open Energy Monitor. Yes, I'm going to write that down. I'm going to look into that. I'd like to be able to get a baseline before they install stuff and then see what it looks like afterwards and see what type of effects there actually are. Green screen when it holds something up to the camera. We can see it. Yeah, well. System whose goal is to keep people stupid. It's called the Matrix. Some people are so glued to the system they'll do anything to protect it. Yep. All right, so let's go ahead and have a look at some of these articles here. Now, of course, take this with a grain of salt. This is an activist group. Hopefully they're vetting everything, but I've found cases where they're not. National Toxicology Program finds cell phone radiation causes cancer. There's been this constant back and forth. Of course, there's more information released on this long-term study recently. And so we have that. Now, World Health Organization designates wireless, which would be those RF frequencies, as a Class 2B carcinogen. However, World Health Organization lists everything except 3 substances in the world as carcinogenic, so I always take the World Health Organization with a very small grain of salt. However, the research into this in terms of living by power lines, RF technologists, and things like this, it's very convincing. I can say I can agree with some of this stuff. 5G wireless future will give, let's see, peer-reviewed study on symptoms associated with smart readers in U.S. Medical Journal. Let's have a look at that one. California Medical Association calls for stronger wireless communication safety standards. So these are all things that are in many ways a little sensationalist, but there is actually some decent science in this. I think this one was pretty good. So I'm going to pull a few of these up. All right. So this one here, self-reporting symptom development from exposure radio frequency fields of wireless smart meters in Victoria, Australia, a case study. So this is published in 2014 in peer-reviewed medical journal Alternative Therapies. So this is a person, I think I flipped through some of these. This is a person who had some very specific things to say about the smart meters. Now, of course, what these guys said, there's all these scientific studies. Let me read their response again. Reading their response again. Will this affect my health? No. Numerous studies have shown smart meters using RF technologies pose no health risks. The reality is I think it's like 60 or 70% of the studies funded by the smart meter industry report no health negative health impacts. About 70 or 80% of those that are funded outside the industry report that there are serious health risks. So, ask yourself that question. The guy that says the guy that's selling it says there are no health effects based on their personally funded studies. So, take that for what that happens to be. Mandated and involuntary exposure. So let's have a look at this figure. Let's see, Victorian cohort, Swiss study. I have no idea what that is, and I don't have a good figure. So frequency of specific symptoms reported closely mirrors data she collected. Okay, so she's looking at her data versus another data. All right, bioinitiative, rationale for biologically based exposure standards for low-intensity radioactive field. This would be one to read. Bioeffects are clearly established to occur within very low exposure levels of non-thermal levels to electromagnetic fields. In other words, our final conclusions is that yes, there is always some impact. One of the best telling studies, I think I have it in one of the other ones here, is the results of looking at individual cell levels and these signals. Those are some of the most compelling results that I have seen. Here's an assessment of radio frequency, microwave radiation emissions from smart meters. So let's see, purpose of the study. Let's see if there's anything here. And here is from emfsafetynetwork.org. So this is another activist group's website that is seeking to make some inroads to clean up the EMF signals that we are all exposed to on a regular basis. And I think, anytime that we are exposing ourselves to extra man-made things, we are carrying with it an inherent risk, and that's one of those things we need to keep in mind. Trying to see if there's anything here that pops out. Top health issues since the wireless meters were installed. Nearly 318 people include sleep problems at 49%, stress 43%, headaches 40%, ringing in the ears 38%, and heart problems 26%. 111 people who complained to their utility provider, 96% were unsatisfied or very unsatisfied that they on how they handled their complaint, and the same is true for complaints to the utility commission, 96% dissatisfaction. 94% of respondents want to retain or restore their analog meetings. 92% do not believe they should pay more to do so. So that is kind of a simple survey meter. Now this one here is a fascinating article. This one here looks at the main threats, and I kind of wanted to identify some of these. Now, the first part is the fingerprinting of activity we talked about in regards to like that mass spec type approach. In that respect, cybersecurity is a huge issue with these meters. These are smart meters that directly connect to our homes that are accessible on the public internet. And if you don't think it's public internet, just give Anonymous a few weeks. They'll prove it's the public internet. The basic thing is that these do connect to, and why do I say public internet, by the way? It's not like, I'm in no way affiliated with Anonymous. Okay, here is the thing from their thing. Do you see that little cloud thing that says WAN? Wireless Access Network. WAN means the internet. So all of this data usage is going back and forth on the internet. Privacy invasions. Again, they can collect a lot of information. Going back again to that mass spec model, they can collect data. Not only can they collect minute-by-minute data as to the amount of power, but that is a secondary factor of are you home or not? Okay, are you home or not? Because obviously, if you're home or not, that will dictate lights turning on, lights turning off, things like that. Of course, you might have a electric timer, but that's pretty easy to spot on this type of system as well. And so we have this issue of the privacy. They can legitimately tell when you're home, and they can legitimately tell what you're doing at home with a reasonable accuracy. Another thing, let's go ahead and talk about the cybersecurity again. I forgot one more point. Cybersecurity, suppose somebody hacks into the system. Now a burglar can hack into your system, shut off your grid, and then go rob your house because your burglar alarm's not going to be working now, is it? So we have that type of issue to look for as well. Health hazards, obviously, this is potentially carcinogenic. Military studies showed how pulsed radiation. This is the thing, is that almost all of these studies that we're looking at looks at continuous radiation. This is pulsed radiation. Pulsed radiation is a lot different than a steady radiation. And so that's one of the things you have to keep in mind. But here is, of course, the live blood analysis looking at these. Okay, so this is from Take Back Your Power. Not sure who these guys are. This apparently is a bush that can actually get rid of some of these things. Let me skip ahead a little bit. Okay, so here's live blood cells before and after. Let me go back to the beginning of that. All right. So before exposure to the smart meter, subject 1, subject 2, subject 3 blood cells. And you can check this out. I'll try and remember to put these links in the article there. You can come in there. There's actually, he's explaining in the audio what's going on. So here is after exposure to smart meters. 2 minutes at a distance of 1 foot is what you're seeing first. And this looks pretty gross. This is quite a bit different. Here is subject 2, 2 minutes at a distance of 1 foot. So what you're seeing there with the misconfigured shapes look particularly like this guy here with his misconfigured shapes. These are van der Waals of forces being interfered with inside of, this is 45 seconds distance of 1 foot. So this is a thing, let me pause this real quick. In chemistry, again, you get this concept of van der Waals forces. There's four basic static charges that hold molecules together. You have covalent forces, which are, these are some of the hardest bonds. These are forces that connect two molecules physically together by sharing an electron cloud. You have electrostatic forces, which are specifically your ionic forces or your stronger electrostatic forces. These are ions, electrically charged, positive, negative, holding things together. These are actually very strong as well. You have a weaker electrostatic force like your hydrogen bonds or your polar, non-polar like polar molecules. But in between your non-polar molecules, you have your van der Waals forces. Van der Waals forces are indeed responsible for replicating proteins, replicating your DNA, folding of proteins, all these types of things. Van der Waals forces are very easy to manipulate. Temperature denatures them. This is why temperature burns us. But van der Waals forces can also be broken down by electromagnetic radiation. And that's kind of what you're seeing with these misconfigured cells. You're seeing a disruption of the van der Waals forces that are holding the cells together. That seems to be the current ongoing theory about what's going on. And I think he does another one here as well. Okay, we'll go ahead and stop that there. I'll leave this in the links there so you can look into more of that. But these are some of those weird things that are kind of going on the cellular level with some of these meters. Of course, the next one is fires, explosions, and burnt out appliances. It turns out that these smart meters are causing fires in a lot of places. Now, the more conspiratorial tinfoil hat type people, my kind of guys, they're sitting here saying that the power companies are downplaying these or covering them all up. I really don't know. But the fact that there's a lot of arching going on is the fact that where are these things being manufactured? Are they being manufactured with the utmost care of technology? Probably not. These things are not working well. That's just the reality of the world. So what's happening is there's causing a lot of fires in places where these are burnt, are at. So if you're living in an apartment complex like me, make sure you got your fire insurance for your renter's insurance down. Homeowner's insurance, make sure that if your house burns down because of the compulsory smart meter that was forced upon you, make sure that's covered in your homeowner's insurance. And so that's kind of that. Cost increases, of course. Eric demonstrated this in Canada, how wonderfully, how it's so good at tracking our power that they'll be able to tell us, they'll be able to 5 o'clock comes around, that's right when that higher power cost comes into play because, it is. And of course, here's how they work. So the smart meter is going to grab all of this information on a minute-by-minute basis in your home. And then what they're going to do is they're going to basically producing this LAN system between all of the nearby smart meters. And then they're going to find one that has the best connection to the internet cell tower. And then that 1 meter is going to collect data on all of the people and transmit them out. This is why some people are getting these massive bills, because they're basically getting billed for everybody's system. That's not an altogether new technology. Gas meters have done that for a long time. Each house along the row will keep on adding up. So then they have to take the endpoint, subtract from that the previous, subtract from that the previous. There's algorithms that do these, but there's something wrong with the algorithms that seem to be doing them in the smart meters. So that's some of the stuff that's going on. Of course, there's legal efforts in California. You can read about some of that. Let's go ahead and jump over at the comments here a little bit. Oh, boy. Let's see. Bad comment. Just bad comment. Okay, now I've already read that comment. Did I leave where I was? You want to make your... Okay. They do a version based on pi. I was looking for it very briefly. Didn't get a chance to find it yet. Changing meters to that some point time ago, just before a provider was bought by an Italian company, but even their own employers didn't want to install them. So they forget to suggest it. Yeah, I read a lot of these. As far as tracking and privacy, yeah, I hope we covered that satisfactorily. It's only causes cancer in California. I know. Same thing, you know, Ghirardelli's chocolate factory right across the bay from Fisherman's Wharf there. They have a showcase store right there. And going through the Ghirardelli's store, you know, chocolate causes cancer in the state of California. I said, well, I'm going to buy a lot of chocolate. I promise I won't open it until Nevada. Speculation that RF was screwing up honeybees' homing signals. Yes, that's actually a good speculation as well. Save the bees! Save the bees! Kill the smart meter. Anything above 3 hertz must have an impact on the human body. Yeah. Cannot fully understand why, but California looks really bad right now. Does the tinfoil hat protect against these radiations? Sometimes. California may look bad, but the state generates so much revenue to the economy. Yeah, too bad it spends more than that. Total OS Today, greetings. Need to watch X-Files, fact check all this. Yep, you do that. Total OS Today, are you on later on today? We can get together tonight. I will be unavailable tomorrow, at least before 10. After 10, I might be free. I don't know. Smart meters are 100% safe according to the power company, and more doctors smoke Camels than any other cigarette. Absolutely. You want to smoke? Ask your doctor about the best brands to smoke. More doctors smoke Camels than anybody. It's the cowboys that smoke the Marlboros. WAN, Wide Area Network, yes. Don't smart meters work like a grid network processing data between each other? Yes. I think we talked about that. Sad to see the state where I was born in look so bad because of the politics. Yep. The day that Skynet is getting closer. Indeed, indeed, indeed. They hack with Kali Linux. There you go. Reject smart devices for your home. Yes. In fact, I went out to get a new MP3 player, and I'm like, I had to very specify, do not give me anything that connects to the internet. I was very pleased. I got a little SanDisk one. I had the previous version of SanDisk, which I thought was just okay. The new model, ooh, I love it. It feels a whole lot stronger, a whole lot more secure. So, picked one of those up. Part of a study when I was in the Army, we found out if you have paperwork that needs signed, 2 more pages, it'll take approximately 6 hours to have it signed. Sadly, the only smart device we need is currently deactivated in lots of people. Unless they really get ordered so-called leader. Yeah. I'm guessing you're talking about our brains. Yeah, those have been deactivated. New channel. Just search for Pseudo Reboot on YouTube. You should get the new channel. Awesome, Pseudo. We will go find you. Should do another review on Manjaro KDE. Latest version is amazing. Alright, I will look into that. Manjaro's garbage. Manjaro is the only OS I'd smash my computer with a sledgehammer. Okay, try the latest KDE release of Manjaro, but it'll change your mind. Alright. That's the beauty of choice. Yes, Mark. That is the beauty of choice. It's why I can't stand elementary. Doesn't work for me. Doesn't work on anything I've tried it on. I've tried it on a lot of different hardware configurations. I've never gotten elementary to work well. No bees, no pollination, no food. Amen to that. Governments don't always pick the best technology. Thorium reactors or safe nuclear reactors weren't built because they have capabilities to blow ourselves as in nukes. For real. Huh? Soft drinks and smart devices are today's cigarettes. Yep. All right. Total OS today. Let me know if you have time to get together tonight. I'm wrapping this up shortly, and I just need a few minute break. If you wanna stream together for a Life in Linux, we can do that. Let me know. Like I said, tomorrow I should be busy. All right. Let's see. What else did I want to do? I think I already had that one. I think I already looked at that one. So that's kind of the smart meter spiel, really. I mean, ultimately for me, the biggest take home for me is that I would like the smart meters. If you're going to push these, I want them to be opt-in or at least have an opt-out. I mean, that would be the best of all worlds, is to be able to choose, because first and foremost, the technology is really too new to determine if these are good for us or not. I'm going to lean towards saying it's not good, because anything that gives more companies data about us, it's problematic. It is problematic, and we need to resist that. And that's the thing. There are definitely cases of documented fires due to smart meters. There are definitely cases of health issues due to smart meters. It seems that some people are more sensitive to the information than others. All I want, to my state legislators, all I want is the choice. Now, obviously, because I live in an apartment complex, it's really not my choice. It's the landlord's choice. But regardless, if I want to go buy my own house and tell the power company... Now, and I get if I'm not necessarily okay with an extra fee, but I get having an extra fee. I would pay an extra $100 to get a dumb meter reinstalled and work out some deal to make sure that I'm consuming the right amount of power. I'm okay with that. I still think we should have the choice. We should choose whether we want these smart devices, particularly such an invasive smart device as to our own homes. And this is the thing, is our country has become so stupid with regards to smart tech. We need to recognize that it certainly is problematic. So that's the thing for me. So I think that's what we're gonna do. Let me wrap up on any final comments. I'll go ahead and feed the kitty, and then we're gonna wrap this guy home. Opt out and just call your usage once a month. Yeah. Yep, Sunday's rest day. Most of the time I try and do little or no work on Sunday. Very beneficial. Yep, there you go. Sometimes you need to do that. You can opt out. They just cut off your electricity. Yeah, I mean, that's true. You can opt out. You can opt out. You just got to figure out how to survive in this world without electricity. Yep. 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 Thing about smart meters is it makes disconnects and connects easier and sends data that can allow them to better identify area outages and problems. Whoa, my tinfoil hat's falling apart. No, my tinfoil hat. My tinfoil hat. I lost a piece. I lost a piece. Yeah, well, you know what? You know what, Scott? I don't generally call people out like this, but good little boy with all of the promotional stuff. I got news for you. Okay, when power goes out, the power company knows, because we lose power all the time in this complex. Every single time we lose power, 15 people call the power company simultaneously. They get it when the power goes out. That is marketing PR crap. It doesn't help them any faster, because we all call instantaneously when power's out. In fact, they're like, we know, stop calling. We get it all the time. We get it all the time. So let's identify this. It makes disconnects and connects easier. Not really. And sends data. No. This is a problem. Okay. They didn't lie about anything. Joe's just mad it's not an advanced enough users to use a distro like Manjaro. Well, okay. You started to blister. Yes, I did. The radiation is getting to my hat. Yes, I'm being protected. That's what it is. I am being protected, and the hat needed a quick patch job. That is clever, Joe. That is clever. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. It's okay if Joe doesn't like Manjaro. You know, I found decent experience with Manjaro one time. I was not able to get it to install another time. Ultimately, I have a lot of good luck with Mint. Other people don't. I hate Elementary. Other people swear by it. That's the world we're in. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and wrap this guy up. Kitty, do you want some kitty treats? Does Kitty want some kitty treats? Let's see if Kitty wants some kitty treats, shall we? All right, Kitty. All right. Whoa, kitty treats. Whoa, kitty treats. Kitty treats. Kitty treats. Whoa, smell the kitty treats. Oh, you smell the kitty treats, huh? Yes, you do. Here we go. Oh. Want to do one for this camera right up here? This camera right here? Oh. And we got one more. One more for you, buddy. Are they finger looking good? Their finger looking good. All right, folks. We're going to wrap this up. Total OS today, if you're still there, let me know if you're free anytime tonight to do a Life in Linux. I am free the rest of this evening, and I'll be monitoring my email. So we will talk to you guys later. I guess before we wrap this up, let's just go ahead and wrap it up with my little support spiel. If you'd like to help support Switch to Linux, check out switchtolinux.com/support. I do have Patreon, patreon.com/Tom M. There's links for all that stuff and some Amazon links in the description below. So thanks for watching, and hope that you enjoy switching to Linux. And I hope that you don't enjoy switching to your smart meter.